Let's talk about something a little weird. It's a hidden career trap, and it's one that catches some of the best, most dedicated people in any company. It's a strange paradox where your biggest strength, how reliable you are, actually ends up being the very thing that holds you back.
So let's kick things off with a story, a scenario that I'm guessing is going to feel pretty familiar to a lot of you.
And what do you do? But what you always do, right? You roll up your sleeves, you dive in, you figure out the problem that nobody else could, and you save the day. And man, it feels good. You're the hero. You think, this is it. This is the stuff that gets you noticed, that gets you promoted.
But here's the thing, and it's kind of a tough pill to swallow. In the reality of how big companies are actually wired, by constantly being the one who cleans up the mess, you're not just saving the day. You're accidentally cementing your reputation as the reliable janitor, the person who's just too darn good at fixing things to ever be allowed to stop fixing things.
And this gets us right to the heart of the matter. It's this strange paradox about what's really valued inside a big organization. You know, it's a system that doesn't always reward the kind of behavior you'd think it would.
This right here is the real kicker. The better you get at putting out fires, the more the system itself kind of conspires to keep you right there holding the fire extinguisher. And look, it's not because your manager doesn't like you. It's because there's a built-in conflict of interest in the system.
Think about it from your manager's point of view for a second. Their job, what they're graded on, is keeping the department running like a well-oiled machine. Smooth, predictable. When you become the go-to crisis fixer, you're not just an employee, you're their safety net. Promoting you, that's not a reward, that's a risk. It creates a huge headache for them. Why on earth would they move a critical part of their engine?
And again, this isn't your boss being a villain or anything. It's a well-documented systemic thing. Organizational sociologists even have a name for it: role entrenchment. The system is literally designed to keep people where they are most useful. And your incredible talent for fixing things has made you most useful right where you are.
So what's the big deal here? Well, all that hard work, all those late nights, they're definitely sending a message up the chain of command. The problem is, it's probably not the message you think you're sending.
See, senior leaders, the execs, they're way too busy to see you down in the trenches saving the day. They operate on mental shortcuts, what we can call proxies, to figure out who's who. And when the only signal you're sending out is, I fix things flawlessly and I avert crises, the proxy that forms in their head is reliable resource. And guess what? Resources get used. They don't get promoted.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It is night and day. In a meeting, you have the fixer. They say, hey everyone, good news, I stayed late and I fixed that broken report. That signals pure execution. But then you have the strategist. They say, I've analyzed why that report keeps breaking, and here's my plan to make sure it never breaks again. That signals leadership. One person is a valuable resource, the other is a playmaker.
All right, so how do you actually get out of this mess? I mean, seeing the trap is one thing, but getting out of it, that takes a whole new game plan, a real deliberate shift in how you operate.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you stop being the hero without looking like you've suddenly checked out or stopped caring? Well, the answer isn't to start slacking off. It's about redirecting all that amazing energy and talent you have.
It really comes down to two key moves. You got to make two very conscious changes that are all about managing how people see you and signaling that you're ready for that next level.
Okay, step one. And honestly, this is going to feel so wrong at first. I get it. Your entire professional identity might be wrapped up in being the person who just gets it done. But you have to stop being the first person to jump on every single fire. You need that bandwidth, that mental space to start thinking about the bigger why behind these problems, not just the how of fixing them.
And number two, you have to make your work strategically legible. What does that mean? It means you stop just reporting on tasks you completed. You start explaining how your work connects to the bigger picture. You frame your accomplishments in the language of the business's goals. The end game is to be known not for the stuff you do, but for how you think.
And when you do this, when you make that shift from just fixing the symptoms to actually solving the root cause, and you learn how to talk about it strategically, that's when it happens. That's when you start to transform from a resource into a real playmaker.
Just let that one sink in for a second. That career ceiling you've been bumping up against, it probably wasn't built because you failed. It was built because you were too successful, but you were focused entirely on the wrong thing, just execution, instead of strategic influence.
So here's the bottom line. You are not stuck. You're already broadcasting signals about who you are and what you're capable of every single day.
The only real question is, are you going to let the system write your story for you, or are you going to grab the pen and start consciously managing those signals to build the career you actually want?
So, from now on, I want you to ask yourself this one question, like constantly. With every project, every email, every comment in a meeting, ask, is this building my reputation as a dependable resource they can use, or as a strategic playmaker they need to promote? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to define everything.